El futuro de los robots en la vida cotidiana ha empezado ya. Vamos a conocer la maleta robot TRAVELMATE, sus características, qué la hace tan especial y cómo aplicamos la tecnología de los robots en el sector del turismo. Para hablar de robótica y futuro, tenemos en el escenario a MAXIMILIAN KOVTUN, astrofísico y presidente de TRAVELMATE Robotics. When you're ready.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming and good morning. It's very nice to be here. So, TRAVELMATE is a revolutionary new type of robot. It's a robot in the form of a self-moving suitcase that follows you and adjusts to your speed. TRAVELMATE can avoid obstacles, navigate through crowds, and maneuver through uneven terrain. It can go up to 6.75 miles per hour, and it moves completely on its own. You don't need to control it. It's perfect for when you're going to work, heading to school, shopping for stuff, or if you're traveling. TRAVELMATE has three main modes: follow me, find me, as well as the joystick. And follow me is the main thing that you just saw. You press a button on the application, and from there, it adjusts to your speed, and if somebody walks in front of it, it'll also stop because it's got sensors. TRAVELMATE is a revolutionary new type of technology. It reinvents how you live every day. It's the first practical consumer robot with the potential for thousands of features. When you think of robotics, you think of these Android-type devices, you know, Terminator or what have you. But in real life, the best we've gotten is, you know, some prototypes that cost a bunch of money. So what we want to do is we want to bring robotics to the everyday consumer. And that's what we're doing with TRAVELMATE. Yeah, it's a moving suitcase. Yes, it can carry your stuff. But more than that, it's a robot. And it's really the first ever version of what will eventually become R2-D2, in a way. So if you take a look at the evolution of phones over the last 100 years, they started off with being able to call someone, and that's it. You had a tube attached to a cord that could call someone or receive calls from someone. But then 10 years ago, something radical happened. The first smartphone appeared. Suddenly, phones had touch screens, thousands of apps, and became a multi-purpose device. It became a portable supercomputer. When the first iPhone was announced, people thought to themselves, why do I need a phone that does stuff besides calling? Now, though, most people can't live without a smartphone. It's that integral to people's everyday lives. We're doing something similar for suitcases. They haven't changed much for the last 100 years. Sure, wheels have gotten better and materials have gotten more lightweight, but nothing has really changed. We're changing that because we're combining robotics with suitcases to make the best of both worlds. Now with TRAVELMATE, you have a robot that carries your stuff for you and has a myriad of different features. It's got a lot of different smart features as well that no other suitcase has. Things like a built-in GPS if you lose it or if somebody wants to steal it. So if you're, say, in Barcelona and your luggage is stuck in Vienna, you'll know exactly where it is through the application. It's got a built-in scale, so you know if you're over the weight limit or not. And a lot of other cool features like a built-in tripod, and you can even put your phone on there and take selfies. So you know, the potential is huge, and we really want to make it customizable as well. So the wheels are fully replaceable. You can put different types of wheels, different types of wheel covers, and even the inside zipper fabric material is replaceable. So you'll be able to like change it to, I don't know, if you want leather or something more vibrant. It's really up to you. And that philosophy extends to every aspect of the TRAVELMATE robot. Even to the LEDs that you see now, there's 16 million different color variations for the LEDs, which means that you can select any color choice or any pattern that you want. TRAVELMATE is creating a new industry of practical robots. It is science fiction turned into reality. Usually, you imagine robots in movies and TV shows, but now you'll be able to own one yourself. TRAVELMATE is always connected to your phone via the TRAVELMATE smartphone app. It has its own section for add-ons, much like the App Store or the Google Play Store, so you will always have new features to try out. And if you're interested in seeing the application, it's already available for download. Any Android device or any Apple device, you can download the application and actually see how it functions. And we're planning on releasing and delivering in late April. So very soon you'll be able to see a lot of these in airports and in everyday life. And it's actually the only robot suitcase allowed on airlines, and that's because the battery is fully removable and all specifications are fully compliant with TSA, FAA, and airline regulations, meaning you won't have any issues at the airport. From anecdotal experience, I've taken this particular suitcase to, I think, like 10 countries, and I haven't had any issues, so. Here are some new features for TRAVELMATE. And this really will go into how we're moving forward in the future, in that TRAVELMATE is a fully fledged robot. So the first thing is TRAVELMATE can be used to monitor your house when you're not home. So think a Roomba vacuum that's a little smarter and monitors your house. It'll sense if there are intruders or if there's something abnormal going on and alert you through the application. So say you're not in the house and this guy's patrolling and it senses, all right, somebody's trying to steal something or somebody's in the house and they're not supposed to be, or maybe your dog's trying to get something that it's not supposed to. So in that case, it'll alert you and you'll know that, all right, something's going on, maybe I should check out my house. The second thing is it'll be able to monitor your health and vital signs. If there's an emergency or if it senses that something is out of the ordinary, then you will know immediately. It can also send your information to your doctor if you set that up. So that's another feature that we're working on, and basically what that means is your vital signs like your heartbeat, your blood pressure, things like that are going to be able to be sensed, and then that information, if something is abnormal, can be sent to your doctor, so you don't have to actually wait for an appointment to take those things. So, you know, it's a bit of a nurse assistant as well. You'll be able to play all sorts of games with TRAVELMATE, things like chess, checkers, so because it has a built-in speaker, when you talk to it, it'll be able to talk back. You can even talk to your TRAVELMATE and it'll respond to your commands. So a really cool feature we're working on is something very similar to Alexa, wherein people will be able to put in an accessory and from there actually talk to it and say, all right, can you tell me what are some cool places to visit, or hey, I want pizza, for example. And it'll be able to order for you or do things like that in a similar fashion to, you know, Google Home Assistant or Alexa. It can act as a security patrol robot. If you're out of the office, it can make sure that your office is safe and alert you if something comes up. Really, TRAVELMATE is for everyone with a smartphone. It's the new modern gadget for a new modern lifestyle, I think. And just limiting it to a moving suitcase is not all it is. It's going to be the first ever mass-produced robot that's available to consumers and is readily available. So we're releasing in late April, and that's this month. And we actually have a huge demand in the European Union. So here we actually have more than 1 million in preliminary order commitments. And so obviously we can't take those orders at this point because our current manufacturing capabilities, we can only make roughly 60,000 units. And so we're looking at expanding assembly into other places other than our current Chinese assembly plant. And you know, we're always open to proposals and offers, so if we get a good one and we're interested, you know, who knows, maybe we'll even have an assembly plant in Barcelona. So, and yeah, I mean, thank you very much for coming over. That's pretty much it, yeah.
Maximilian. I'd love to see another demonstration of how it works. Like, can it get to high speeds? If you run, will it run after you?
Yeah, so actually the follow me mode is capped at 4.5 kilometers per hour. It does move vertically as well, but we've set the follow me mode to horizontal mode so that, you know, it doesn't fall over when you're moving. But the maximum speed for it is 12 kilometers per hour, or 6.75 miles per hour. So if you're on joystick and you want it to go real fast, I can probably demonstrate here, then it can do that. But for follow me mode, I mean, it goes pretty fast. And actually, you can see this is a good demonstration that even at faraway speeds, or even at faraway distances, you can control it and it's fine. So, you know, you don't have to use follow me mode. You can do this as well if you just want to screw around with it. And then, like I said before, you can put your phone in here for selfies if you really want to, or you can actually screw on a camera here, like a DSLR camera or whatever, and use it as a tripod so it can be moving and at the same time record you. So that's a really interesting feature that I don't think any other suitcase has.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it work when it's standing?
Yeah,
as well?
yeah.
But not as fast, I guess.
No, it can't go as fast, obviously. I mean, it's just physics, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it does, it moves, and it dances and all that. In some cases, it fights with BB-8 from Star Wars. If you go to our Facebook, we actually did a video with Disney.
Okay.
I can show you some LEDs as well. So you can really choose any different color you want.
That's cool.
Yeah. If police, if any of you guys are police.
And you mentioned it talks. You can actually talk to it.
Yeah, so that's a feature we're developing. And if you hear, it does have a speaker built in.
Let's go.
Yeah. So what you'll be able to do is you can talk to it and it'll be able to respond. Now, this one doesn't do it yet, but that's something that we're working on and will be implemented very soon.
Okay. Does it have a name? Besides TRAVELMATE, the generic.
I like to call this one Bobby.
Bobby, it needs a name, definitely. Any questions from the audience? ¿Alguien tiene alguna curiosidad? There. That's amazing.
I don't know if it works.
You can speak in Spanish, she'll translate for me.
Yeah, I'll
Well,
translate.
I can speak in English as well.
Yeah, no problem.
I was just wondering, like, how much is the cost? Like, what are you how much are you selling it for?
So you can actually buy right now through childmaterobotics.com. However, the demand is so high relative to supply that it takes up to 90 days for delivery. So the price is $1,099 US. I think that's roughly 900 euro.
Mm-hmm. Approx, yeah.
Here, another question. How much care it's here?
Okay.
Sorry, what?
I
Could you repeat that, please?
I'm here.
Oh, here.
How much care do you have to do you have to have for this suitcase? Because precisely, suitcases are nothing treated nicely in the airport. So, are you assuming that you never separate from your suitcase?
So if I understand correctly, you mean how much space is inside, or?
No. How much care do you must have with your suitcase in order that it's not harmed? Or?
Oh, it's not an issue because it's always right next to you. Now, on the launch version, you'll also be able to set the distance. So up to from a meter in length and further away or closer. Now, we've been in touch with regulatory agencies to make sure that it's fully compliant and fully allowed on airlines and all that stuff. Obviously, like if you're going on an escalator or a staircase, it'll stop because of the sensors, and you can just use it as a normal suitcase and then continue using it as a robot suitcase. And there's really, I mean, honestly, I get more issues with water bottles and cosmetics than we do with this, you know, when you go through security. So, yeah.
Okay. How do you avoid theft or?
There's a couple of features for theft avoidance. Now, obviously, anything can be stolen. Any normal suitcase, I mean, that's just unavoidable. But this thing is actually more secure than any normal suitcase because it's got a built-in speaker, so you can actually activate an alarm through the application that'll be available at launch.
And everybody will know you're
so
stealing the suitcase.
you, or even just like if you haven't stolen it, but you don't know exactly where it is, like maybe everything's thrown around, and then at the last second you're packing, you just activate the alarm, and it'll see exactly where it is, just like your car.
Cool.
Other than that, also the wheels will lock in place in follow me mode if somebody actually tries to take it. So that makes it much harder. And the last thing is obviously GPS. So no matter how far that person goes, you can see exactly where it is, and if need be, you can tell police, all right, this is where my TRAVELMATE is.
Great. There's another question there, I think. No, another question? Oh, sorry. Anybody else? There.
Hi. I think it's really cool.
Thank you.
I just have a question. How does it deal with rough floors?
So actually, that's a really good question.
Thanks.
During development, the hardest thing was actually like getting it to work on carpet. And so we've been able to do that in a number of different ways. First, the wheel joints that we used were changed so to make sure that when the wheels are spinning, they don't spin out or anything like that. And the same thing, we went from Omni wheels to this wheel type as the default, because when you're going outdoors, there's these little pebbles and rocks. If you're not on, even on paved roads, that happens, and that would get stuck between the little wheelets. And so with this, that's no longer an issue. On carpets, there's obviously more friction and more resistance, so it needs to compensate in order to actually follow you at the same speed. And so that was taken into account within the parameters set in the artificial intelligence inside TRAVELMATE. And so it handles the majority of environments pretty well. Also, from a technical standpoint, when you're in halls or corridors or high reflective surfaces, we had issues there, and we were able to resolve that as well. So there's obviously a lot that goes into development and making sure that in all these different surfaces it works. And so, you know, that's all of that we've tested through and made sure that it works as best as possible under as many situations as possible.
Thank you. I'm afraid there's no more time for questions. So
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maximilian.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.